we're live in the TV radio room that most guys are, most people who are on TV are not able to see. This is one of the side rooms that all the players and coaches have been running through. Right now we've got Richard and Nick. We're going to be in here, and we're going to kind of recap day 2 that saw Arkansas come through, saw Tennessee come through, saw Texas A&M and the Johnny Football Madness come through. I saw Dan Mullen come through as well. Auburn came through, and we're going to kind of just recap what went on today. Nick, we started the morning off with the Johnny Football crazy. As we walked down from the ballroom, it was like the President of the United States was down here. What did you do? You were able to see two rooms. Richard, right. You were able to see 3. Kind of give me your thoughts, Nick.
Right. Well, wherever Johnny Football goes, a crowd and media is sure to follow. So that didn't change here. There were people downstairs. It was like the Beatles were downstairs in the lobby. And he came up, and I was really proud of the way he handled himself today. Some people told us that watching on TV, he didn't really own up to, kind of the stuff that he's been getting in trouble and getting his name in the press for. But we kind of stayed away from the room where it was being televised. We wanted to stay in these side rooms, and it's a more intimate setting where you can talk to him and you can kind of get a better sense of the sincerity of his answers and things like that. And he told us that the phone died. Well, the phone didn't die because so and so didn't put it on the charger. So and so was playing Candy Crush and it died, and it wasn't my fault. He says, I didn't put it on the charger. The phone died. The phone was dead because of me. I went and told him I didn't wake up because the alarm didn't go off. The alarm didn't go off because I didn't do what I needed to do. What did you see? You follow Johnny around like a paparazzi today.
Yeah.
To all the rooms. What kind of from following him around, and he gets a lot of the same questions. How did he handle the media pressure today?
Yeah, well, we talk about the first TV spot of the morning. That was in College Game Day's set. And then he went into the breakout rooms after that. And like you said, Nick, I followed him into all 3 rooms, and he was contrite, and he handled it, like you said, as well as you could expect him to handle it. The questions could get annoying because they weren't about football. They were not about football. They were about
the first one was.
Yeah, the very first question of the day was about actually the sport of football and the.
Wait, he plays football?
It's hard to imagine. But, every question that he was posed seemingly was about, off-season, miscellaneous things, right. Especially last weekend, because that's the most prominent in people's minds, the Manning passing camp and getting sent home about that. But like you said, he owned everything. He said that, I make mistakes, but I'm 20 years old. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to live my life. I hope I don't offend people or whatever. And if I make mistakes, I'm going to own up to them, and they're my fault. And that's the measure of a man. You make mistakes and then you own up to them because they're your mistakes. We're all going to make them.
Right. It's easy to make an excuse. It's easy to say, well, if so-and-so did this, then I would have been able to go through with what I need to do. It's hard to say, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, and that's why this event or this mishap happened.
And it's even harder to do in front of ESPN's cameras and us who have phones and cameras and video equipment and lights shining in your face.
Right.
It's hard to kind of own up to and be forthright with everything instead of just kind of closing off and being kind of introverted and short with people.
The only kind of person I can even compare the media circus that follows him is Tebow, but not everyone's Tim Tebow. Not everyone's going to go out on a Saturday night and be back in bed at the apartment at 9:30 and read some scripture and go to bed lights out by 10. That's not how he wants to live. That's not how I wanted to live when I was 20 years old. And I didn't have a Heisman Trophy at home and all the fame that comes with it. So you can't blame him for wanting to live his life. He's a 20-year-old kid. That's what it comes down to. He's a 20-year-old kid. He's enjoying college. A lot of the things he does is because his family can afford it. He plays at Pebble Beach and stuff like this. But if he doesn't win the Heisman, do we even know that he's at Pebble Beach? Like, why does it matter that the Texas A&M's quarterback is shooting a 72 at Pebble Beach. Like, I don't need to know that.
Yeah, well, with great power comes great responsibility,
Right.
and the clout, and the Heisman Trophy, and the SEC, and the beating Bama at Bama. He did a lot of things last year to put him on the map. His stardom rocketed from 0 to 60 in 3 months. He's arguably the most famous 20-year-old in the United States of America. I think it's
Going into the
safe
season,
to say.
they didn't even know if he was going to be the starter, and you go from not knowing if you're going to be the starter to winning the Heisman Trophy. So
Yeah.
he went, like you said, from 0 to 60 pretty quickly.
Yeah, and so he's growing up in front of our eyes, and that involves slipping and falling sometimes.
Well, if Johnny Football didn't steal the show, Brett Bielema did. And that's saying something that, as you just said, Johnny Football was the circus, but Brett Bielema, he picked fights with Gus Malzahn. He said people were whipping out scars on people, and he called himself not a comedian. What was your guys' first impression of Brett? We were able to sit in there, and I think we all probably had 10 to 15 goofy tweets about Brett or Bert or whoever you want to call him. What was your impression of the first-year head coach at Arkansas?
Oh, Brett was feisty. Brett was good and feisty, and he came ready to play. One of the things that surprised me most is a lot of these coaches, they have 30 minutes on the main stage, the ESPNU stage that most of you guys watch when you see these the snippets and the clips from these press conferences. They have 30 minutes, so most of these coaches get up there and just filibuster for about 20 minutes.
That was the Muschamp
Yeah,
filibuster on Tuesday.
if Will Muschamp spoke at the rate of a normal human being, he would have filled the entire 30 minutes, but they probably didn't let him. They probably made him keep it under 20 so that he could field questions from us. Bielema was in and out of an opening statement in 5 minutes. It was truly an opening statement. And then he fielded questions at his first SEC Media Days, which is a whole other ballgame from Big Ten Media Days. His first SEC Media Days, he was in and out 5 minutes, 25 minutes of questions from 600 of us in this room. And the questions were, I think that the fact that this Malzahn thing got kind of thrown into the loop today meant the questions were going to be kind of unpredictable. It wasn't just about, how's the offense going to be, how's the transition from the Big Ten. Now you've got to deal with a budding war of words at SEC Media Days.
Yeah, and, Bert, as we like to call him, told us that, he's not a scientist, he's not an artist,
Actor.
He's not an actor.
Comedian.
He's not a comedian.
Doctor, I think, was also thrown out.
But apparently he's not worried about, mincing his words and, throwing some haymakers, so maybe he's a boxer. He definitely went after, Gus Malzahn. He did not appreciate his statement being referred to as a joke. And he went kind of from happy, playful Bert to I'm ready to get in the ring and mix it up.
Oh yeah, you can see why Arkansas hired this guy, because he's a personable guy. He's a guy that loves to talk. Like we said, he's funny. We were cutting up to this guy, just how kind of affable he is. But then you saw the focus and the intensity and the drive and those kind of things also shine through in Bielema's introduction, I guess, to the zaniness that is the conference at large. He's obviously dealt with his local Arkansas media when he started taking over the job, but this is all of us. This is Gainesville, this is Atlanta, this is Athens, Baton Rouge, Lexington. All of us are here, and so he's going to field questions from the entire region.
1,200 credentialed media members. He made the point to say that's more than they have for the national championship. So
he knows. So he knows the stage. He is acutely aware of the stage.
Absolutely. He says, that's why the SEC is what they are. They don't do things just to do them. When they do it, they're gonna be loud. They're gonna let you know that they're doing it, and they're gonna make a statement. And we show up to see them.
Well, that's day 2. Day 3's tomorrow, and it is the circus of Mark Richt, Les Miles, Nick Saban, and poor James Franklin gets thrown into the mass of
James Franklin might appreciate being thrown in with those 3 coaches with all the stuff going on with his players right now. He's definitely going to get hit with some of those questions about the 4 players that were kicked off the team, but you're going to have 1,000 people screaming "Roll Tide" down there. We're not going to be able to hear his answers because all the crowd's here to see Nick Saban tomorrow.
I know you guys are looking forward to it. Is there one thing you're looking forward to besides hearing Paul Thombaum get in here? Is there anything else you guys are looking for?
I'm following Les Miles. I'm going to see if I can cut a patch of grass out from outside and just carry it around, see if he'll come over and talk to me tomorrow.
I'm very interested to see, like you talk about James Franklin, I'm very interested to see how he deals with the first negative kind of story he's had around his program. He's had little things, the subtweet about the recruit, and other things in the last few months. But this is a big deal. This is kids committing alleged sex crimes.
Since he's been there, because Vanderbilt was the doorman of the SEC for so long, and he's completely changed the culture. There's been nothing but positive press about him for the
because
way
it's
he's
also
turned.
because we love to see Vanderbilt's the underdog, the little guy.
Absolutely.
It's nice to see them do very well.
Absolutely.
And this, like I said, this is the first negative thing he's had to deal with, and it'll be interesting to see how he fields the questions that are posed to him, or if he has to. Will the relentlessness be in that media room after Saban? Will people just be so busy at hammering out stories about how Saban's out to win another national championship, or will they give the story of this Vanderbilt scandal its just due?
The media is relentless. I was trying to talk to an All-American left tackle in Jake Matthews, and it felt like I was interviewing Johnny Manziel because all the questions were about Johnny Manziel. So the media has questions. We had to go searching through media guides to even find out who the 4 players were. So there's going to be some questions tomorrow. He's definitely going to have to answer.
Yeah, I think that's all great, on that, and I think it should be a great wrap up to an already, splendid SEC media days, and hopefully we get some good stuff tomorrow. And in case you guys missed it, we had Richard over here on ESPN front page today, and then Mr. De La Torre, he was showing off his Johnny Manziel Heisman post. He thinks he has eligibility left. He's not very good,
I might
guys.
have eligibility left.
So from day 2 from Hoover, Alabama, at SEC Media Days, I'm Andrew behind the camera, and I have Nick Johnny Football and Richard Mr. Twitter Johnson.
There he is.
Later, Gator Country.